Ilmar snapped and has a historic meltdown on reporters asking her about being deported. So watch the video.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Ilhan Omar was just asked about being deported in the halls of Congress, and her response tells you everything. Ilhan Omar should be really scared of this because if you commit immigration fraud, then you can be denaturalized and deported in this country. It'd probably be a pretty big threshold. It's never been done to a member of Congress before, but then again, we've never had a criminal immigrant member of Congress. And the reason why you can say that demonstrably and empirically is that the evidence is on our side. And there's been a ton of actual, really rock solid reporting done on this. The Daily Mail has done quite a bit. Free Beacon has done quite a bit. They've even done like DNA testing and so on, finding her old cigarette butts and stuff, and said, yeah, you know what? She married her brother. It's like a 99.999% certitude that she married her brother. The White House has reposted this, and, well, that would be immigration fraud and illegal. And you can't do that in this country. You can do it in Somalia, where a ton of marriages, the majority of marriages, are second or first cousin marriages. Gross. But not here. We don't do that here. And so Ilhan Omar has been a little skittish about this topic for a long time. Now, she started off really cocky about it, saying, yo, I can go live wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. Make my day, lady. Here we go.
I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but I don't even know like why that's such a scary threat. Like I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. Like I can go live wherever I want.
Then Ilhan Omar moved into the full yeah, you can't deport me. In fact, you can't. I won't let you. Right? This is the panic on MSNBC.
For me, is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership. He's supposed to be the president of the United States who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. When you have Nancy and Randy saying, we're on it, we're going to impeach her. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. What that displays for not just Americans, but folks on...
Actually, you're not an American citizen. You did not go through the paperwork. You came here as a child through your dad. You didn't go through the paperwork yourself. Okay? Not only that, you married your brother. This is to get citizenship. Which you didn't go through the proper channel to do either. So, here, I'm going to break it down. Do a little thing right here. You probably go through to get your citizenship, but she did not go through there. Here you go. I'm going to go through here. The internet's kind of slow. Here you go. Okay, here we go. Application must be at 18 years of age to finalize national application. Permanent residency, you must have a lawful permanent resident or LPR, a green card for at least 5 years before applying for national citizenship, If you are married to a U.S. citizen, this period is reduced to 3 years. Physical presence. A applicant must have a physical presence in the U.S. for at least half of the required resident period, 30 months for a 5-year period, or 18 months for a 3-year period. Constitution resides. You must determine Constitution resides in the U.S. during the required residence period without extended absence that can be disrupt your equality. Good moral character, English profile, oath of alliance, which Omar you did not do. You did not keep your allegiance to the United States and everything because you did not really care for the United States of America. So therefore, you really didn't keep your allegiance to the United States of America. You still kept your allegiance to Somalians, not to America. Okay? You didn't keep either one of them thing like you say you was. You betrayed the United States of America. So therefore, you really got no right to say what you got to say at all. So really, you really got nothing to bitch about. I got so much stuff on my computer here. I'm trying to go back through here, and it's kind of hard to do. But yeah. And then we'll go back in here through history to find the video I was on. I can't find it. There are feeds here, so let's go right here. Alright, back to the video.
There's been actual, really rock solid reporting done on this. The Daily Mail has done quite a bit. Free Beacon has done quite a bit. They've even done like DNA testing and so on, finding her old cigarette butts and stuff, and said, yeah, you know what? She married her brother. It's like a 99.999% certitude that she married her brother. The White House has reposted this, and, well, that would be immigration fraud and illegal. And you can't do that in this country. You can do it in Somalia, where a ton of marriages, the majority of marriages, are second or first cousin marriages. Gross. But not here. We don't do that here. And so Ilhan Omar has been a little skittish about this topic for a long time. Now, she started off really cocky about it, saying, yo, I can go live wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. Make my day, lady. Here we go.
I mean, I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but I don't even know like why that's such a scary threat. Like, I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. Like, I can go live wherever I want.
Then Ilhan Omar moved into the full you can't deport me. In fact, you can't. I won't let you. Right? This is the panic on MSNBC.
For me, is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership. He's supposed to be the president of the United States, who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. You know, when you have Nancy and Randy saying, you know, we're on it, we're going to impeach her. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. What that displays for not just Americans, but folks on an international platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is not something that we should be comfortable with as Americans, and that's not something that should make us proud. And so in this moment, I feel great sadness as an American that these are the kind of people that the world gets to see representing us.
And now Ilhan Omar has taken a slightly different stance, which is to attack any reporter who asks her this question. It's a very important question, something that Trump's been talking about for a long time. But here's Ilhan Omar speaking to an excellent reporter from Lindell TV. This is a reporter that got Nancy Pelosi to lose her mind. And she is asking Ilhan Omar some really tough questions. Questions that, well, you don't ever hear asked on Capitol Hill, but questions that the American people talk about all the time. And doing a great job at it. Here we go.
Congresswoman, Republicans have repeatedly stated that you committed immigration fraud. Are you at all worried about a formal investigation that could perhaps lead to your deportation?
Are you one of those people?
I don't know what that means, but are you at all concerned?
Do I look concerned?
I guess not.
Okay.
What about the Minnesota fraud hearing? You didn't show up for that. Do you think you should have?
Why should I have?
Well, it happened in your state. Don't you want to defend your position?
There were people from my state that were there.
Okay, but why not you? I mean, there's allegations that you're complicit in the fraud. Wouldn't you want to show up?
Why would there be an allegation that I'm complicit? How would I be complicit?
Well, what about Tim Walz?
You just ask stupid questions. Is this your thing?
I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, there's a lot of controversy around the issue. $9 billion in fraud in the state of Minnesota.
$9 billion?
You don't think so?
Really?
Yeah, and counting. Probably more, honestly. You think that's fake news or what?
That is more than half.
She don't give a fuck. Okay, Ilmar don't give a fuck about Minnesota. She don't give a fuck about the people out there. She don't give a fuck about the country or the United States. She only care about her fucking Somali people in her own country. Okay? You see how she acts? You see how she doing her fucking facial expressions? She don't care. Oh, really? Really? Like that, she's surprised. She knew about that shit. Let's get back to the video.
Of the resources that are allocated.
Okay.
So you genuinely, like, your brain has told you that it is possible for half of the resources.
I'm just going off of what
for our public service to, like, half disappear, is what you're saying.
countless Minnesota state representatives, whistleblowers have come
listen
forward.
to yourself, though.
I'm
Like,
trying.
just think about that for a second.
Maybe if you showed up at the hearing, you would
Just-
know that
just think
whistleblowers
about
are
that
being
for a second.
retaliated against for exposing the fraud. Why is that? Why are they being
But
tracked and
just
traced?
think about what you're asking. Who is tracing whistleblowers?
Minnesota state officials, Tim Walz, anyone who dares to speak out against the government.
Tim Walz is doing something to
Yeah,
whistleblowers?
why is Tim Walz stepping down if he's, innocent? Why isn't he running for re-election?
Because he's had 8 years to serve as our great governor.
He was going to be vice president of the United States if Kamala won.
Yes, and he would have been an excellent vice
But
president.
now he's stepping
much
down.
better than the person we have right now.
And now he's stepping down as governor. Any comment on that? You don't think he's maybe complicit?
He is focusing on trying to make sure our state remains great.
Okay.
All right, have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Sweet.
So Ilhan Omar seemed a little bit nervous there.
Oh yeah.
Just like a tad nervous to you.
Mm-hmm. Look at her face expression.
Ilhan Omar is one of these people who is just ready to be deported. She's just one of these people who is just so vile.
There you go. Look at this. Decades of civil war, corruption, and prison violence, citizen of the population in extreme poverty and widespread panic.
Funding of ICE. She's the one who said that on 9/11 some people did something. And the one who's most likely behind a considerable amount of the fraud in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That has been instigated by her community. So let's just go to the source. Tricia McLaughlin with the Department of Homeland Security, ladies and gentlemen, on our program. saying that yes, Ilhan Omar may be deported. Trust the source. There you go. DHS came out and said, we're really considering denaturalization action against some of these major criminals. Can you explain that? I think that would really stick. A lot of people would say, wow, the Trump administration is really serious if they start denaturalizing people in this country.
Yeah, under U.S. law, if you procure citizenship or a visa, a green card on fraudulent grounds, that is basis for denaturalization or removal of that visa or green card. So, of course, President Trump has directed the Department of Homeland Security. We're doing a massive scale audit on these countries of concern, Somalia being among them. And so we're looking at how are these citizenship procured? How are these visas procured? We know that the past administration, basic mechanisms were not being done, basic checks were not being done. And so we did see wide-scale fraud. We did see wide-scale abuse of our legal immigration system. And so it's really incumbent upon us to go back, see how this was procured. And if that means denaturalization, that's a route that's certainly on the table.
Okay, what is the legal process there? A lot of people say that Ilhan Omar engaged in immigration fraud as well. The White House is out posting articles about it. What you're saying is that if somebody like Ilhan Omar was engaged in immigration fraud, that they could have their American citizenship stripped away, and there's a legal process for that.
Oh, absolutely. That's under U.S. law. If they have procured their citizenship, this could be anyone, including Ilhan Omar, on a fraudulent grounds, that could be revoked.
Do you have success in those actions? We've read the New York Times piece. We've seen some of the build up to this. We've seen the messaging on it. But are you seeing actual success? I know that this is a legal process, right?
Absolutely. This is a case-by-case basis, a legal process. This is something that President Trump has been very focused on. Secretary Noem has been incredibly focused on. But I do, Benny, if you wouldn't mind, I want to back up to also what we're seeing on the ground as far as some of these suspected fraudsters. What we're seeing, and I think that there has been some coverage of it actually from you all, is that these people are really scrambling to cover up their tracks and trying to create the illusion that there are legitimate business operations and business practices going on when it's all a fugazi. So that's something that I think we're going to see more and more of, and those viewers watching should be aware of. But our Homeland Security investigators, our FBI, and other law enforcement on the ground are also aware that this is going on, and they're not going to be, rules not going to be pulled over their eyes.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Jordan.